Jim Krenn, No Restrictions, with Mark Eddy, John Vento, Jim Pitulski. We're here at John's studio here in beautiful Gibsonia, and we have a fun show for you today. Mark is now a regular member of the show. You're in. You're made man now.
All right.
You had to, we did the candle, the whole thing. We did a whole ceremony. Mark saying,
I feel like, yeah, man, I'm in the gang.
Yes,
here.
you're
we
made.
got the band back together.
Did we negotiate his fee? I don't think. We'll discuss that later.
Yeah, we'll discuss.
We got to give Pitulski a microphone one of these days. He's hard.
Yeah, Jimmy,
like the best producer in the world. This
Jimmy's
guy.
Like a computer with information. He's like a genius. Anytime I have any
little
facts,
Rain Man
I say,
over
Jim, what
here."
is that? He gives me the fact. John, you had a great story you're telling us off the air. I'm going to say, hey, bring it on the air. It's kind of cool. Mark and I are products of the comedy club era.
Yes.
Growing up in the comedy clubs, and that's how we cut our teeth in comedy, emceeing, middling, and headlining. Yeah. And I went on the radio. Mark went on to Los Angeles, and we were fortunate enough to make a living as comedians in the world of comedy, which is amazing. What a blessing. And John was bringing up, comedy club you're at, and said, hey, there's a club in Erie. And I've never played it, but I heard it's fantastic. Mark has played it a few years back when it was under another management.
Another name. It was called Juniors.
Juniors.
Comedy Club,
and here's Keller's, it's called now. It's in Erie, which is so close to Pittsburgh. That's our Pittsburgh Riviera up in Erie, right on the water. But Keller's, a beautiful comedy club. If you ever want to visit, John was telling me some of the history. Mark and I, we were like, that's pretty fascinating. You got to bring it on the air a little bit. Tell us what Keller's, who this guy Keller's was.
Well, I was up there because we are launching Band Together Erie. Of course, we have Band Together Pittsburgh, which creates music programs for people on the autism spectrum. We're now opening an Erie chapter,
okay, that's
which will be our third
nice.
chapter. We already have Columbus, Ohio, that's been up and running for almost 2 years.
Awesome.
Okay.
And doing great. So anyhow, I went there because next Wednesday night, or we don't know the timing of all this, but I should say on the 18th of September of 2024, we are going to have a kickoff meeting with parents, caregivers, and the autism community of Erie at this Keller's Magic Club.
Before you get into it, John, explain to people what Band Together Pittsburgh is. They don't know what it is and how they can donate if you want to go online and find it. But what is it?
Sure. So as my elevator speech, Band Together Pittsburgh creates music programs for people on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
But the biggest aspect and the most important thing is we use music as the conduit to create social opportunities for people that most likely don't have them.
Okay.
We've learned through the years so many of these beautiful, wonderful people that are on the spectrum. Many of them have been in their bedrooms playing video games for years. I mean,
and they're genius. A lot of people are genius.
Absolutely.
Genius level, yeah.
Mark, God's gifted them great talent.
Absolutely. So what we discovered quite accidentally with our co-founder, Ronnie Esser, Moondog, who we all know and love.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just all accidental. We discovered that by having open mics and making it designated as an autism open mic, for example, or having dances or having drum circles, that suddenly these wonderful, beautiful people come out of their bedrooms and out of their caves and their computers and start to interact with other like-minded people.
And showcase their talents.
Absolutely. And they feel comfortable. So, it's growing like crazy. And as I mentioned, Columbus and now Erie. So transitioning to this Keller's place.
Right.
That's where we're going to have our kickoff meeting.
Right? Okay.
So I went up because I like to site visit places and see the sound system and the screens and all that. And I discover, this is so cool. And I was excited to tell you guys because I have a feeling you're going to be performing there real soon. First, it's a beautiful venue. And it's named after Harry Keller, who was a world-famous magician and illusionist in the late 1800s and early 20th century.
Wow.
Or do we call it the 21st century?
Imagine doing gigs in the late 1800s, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
I
told you.
I can't call. There's no phone.
Right.
You told me you'd pay me $1.50 for headlining.
Yeah.
You only gave me $1.
Well, this guy,
Harry
Keller, was the predecessor to Houdini. As a matter of fact, he inspired Houdini. In other words, he was Houdini's role model
Yeah.
and mentor.
Like Mark inspires me.
As he does.
Well, you were
And he's
my
a lot
mentor.
younger.
We're back and forth.
He's a lot younger. So, you walk in and the manager, Jackie, who was wonderful, gave us a tour and seeing all these photos, pictures of Harry Keller and Houdini and the history of all that.
So it's kind of like an homage to Harry.
It is. It's Keller's Magic Club to Harry Keller.
Okay, that's cool.
I guess if you were a baseball fan, it would be an homage to Hannes Wagner.
Right.
Of that era.
Yeah.
And then it gets even better because she starts to share with us how Harry Keller also inspired The Wizard of Oz and the characters in The Wizard of Oz. Wow. The wizard itself is based off of Harry Keller and the top cat and his dress and his look.
Yes.
The Flying Monkeys was a Harry Keller thing, and the Munchkins was a Harry Keller thing. So when the writer of The Wizard of Oz, first, of course, it was a book, a famous children's book.
Why was it a Keller thing, the Munchkins and the...
He created all those characters in his act.
In his act? He had flying monkeys in his act?
Well, I don't know if they were
flying.
flying.
This guy. I would have loved to have seen him in the 1800s.
We should look up how those monkeys and Munchkins worked.
How they get involved.
So the dude that wrote The Wizard of Oz, Baum, I think his name was, he went to Harry Keller and said, hey, I'll give you a couple bucks. I want to use your characters in my book.
$3.
And the rest is history. So, as you know, it was Junior's Comedy Club for years. And then 4 years ago, Bobby Borgia, who is a well-known international magician, illusionist, also from Erie.
Okay.
I mentioned Harry was from Erie.
Yeah.
Right.
But Bobby was in L.A. too.
Bobby
right?
was
yeah,
he's still
I
in
remember
LA.
from the Comedy and Magic Club, which is the most famous comedy club in L.A. It's called the Comedy and Magic Club.
It's the Yankee Stadium of
and I remember
clubs.
Bobby from there.
Right?
Yeah.
So Bobby then came back to his hometown.
Yep.
Bought Junior's, renovated and renamed it
Which is a
Keller's.
magic and comedy club.
It's called Keller's. Magic is the first word. Magic and comedy.
Magic
Club.
and comedy, yeah.
So there you go.
Cool,
great.
man.
And this lovely young lady, Jackie, we had so many
She's the
connections.
GM or she's the...
She's the boss. She's the manager for Bobby.
Okay.
Ironically, her family was from Penn Hill.
Okay.
She has family members that lived right near me.
How interesting.
Right? And so I told her about you guys. She was just blown away and had no idea who you were. But that's for another day.
Got to be young. She's got to be young.
Very young. She's like 12. But
They had a show on Nickelodeon.
she's always looking for more talent. And your dear friend, Billy Gardell, was just there a few weeks ago. So there you go, guys.
That's a great room. We can't wait
And
to
I want
play it, John.
30% of the booking gig.
Of course. You know that, man. Thanks for being...
Call me Irvin Vento.
Thanks for doing the groundwork for us, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Vento.
Huh?
We're gonna make Vento our manager.
John's
No,
gonna
I don't
be
have
our-
time.
Vento will be like,
oh, yeah. Add that
"Listen,
to your plate.
No.
Jimmy, Mark,
Yeah.
it's all about sincerity. And if you can fake that, you got a career.
I had my buddy, speaking of magic, the greatest magician, one of the great magicians in the world right now. He's kind of semi-retired, but still does it. Paul Gertner was from Pittsburgh. Every magician knows Paul Gertner. He's, like I say, he's one of the
He was on
greatest
the
in
Tonight
world.
Show. I think he was on with Jimmy or
Over a dozen
Johnny
times.
back
He's-
way
yeah,
back when.
Dozen Carsons, right?
Yeah.
Man, he's amazing. Lives in Boston now, but he's a Pittsburgh guy. He's a buddy of mine. We started together when we were 19, 18 years old, right around then.
Wow.
And my first gig ever, he calls me because we were at this party. He was dating this girl, and I was dating the girl's sister or something. We were at this party. We're like 17, 18, and like, hey, man, what do you want to do for your life? I go, I want to be a comedian. What do you want to do? He goes, I want to be a magician. Guy, he goes, cool. And that was it. So we become,
Here we are all these years later. Yeah.
but we became buddies from that moment.
Yeah.
So we start talking about it, and I'm trying to write jokes, and I'm going to this little club called the Portfolio in Oakland, trying to get some stage time. Comedy clubs weren't born yet, and so Paul gets us a gig at the Candle Glow Inn in Millville, and I remember I got $5 and a free drink. That was my pay. So he and I did that together, and then we got a guy, this agent downtown in the Jenkins Arcade building.
Yeah.
This guy was like 5 foot, 4'11", not kidding, 300 pounds. I'm talking big guy. We go to his office, his old office, and this little Indian guy. I don't know, Eastern. He goes, hello, sit down here. We'll be with you in a minute. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Go ahead, you go in. Don is waiting for you. This guy name's Don. It's the Asian thing. So we go in. There's Don sitting there in this like crusty suit. The suit looks like he had it on for years. Behind him is the biggest boobs I've ever seen. So here, picture an old man's head, bald, with a beard, old, like 90, with two big boobs. Chesty Morgan was the poster behind him. That was his only client left. It was amazing.
Chesty Morgan.
Chesty Morgan had the biggest breast, 72 inches or something.
Oh my God!
This was big, and this is one of those guys.
Wow!
But he's reading a newspaper, and we're sitting there nervously. I'll never forget. First words out of his mouth, this cigar.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Puts the paper down, looks at us, and goes, "Peanuts now, big money later." That was his line.
Peanuts
now, big money later.
It's like, we gotta crawl before you walk.
Oh, he's like, Richard Pryor owes me $15. Never paid. He's like one of those guys. His name dropping. And we became, but Paul is one of the greatest magicians ever. It's just funny. It just brings back that memory, man. Very first gig, Candle Glow in Millvale, baby.
Wow,
Millvale.
Nice.
So now we're gonna make Erie, Mark.
So can I ask one more?
We're going
Big
to Erie,
time.
baby.
One more comedy
trip.
question, and you guys take over. So Michelle and I are going to see Maniscalco.
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
Oh, you know him,
Sebastian.
You know him?
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't know. Mark may know.
I know
Mark
him very
knows
well.
everybody.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool guy.
Again, we used to work the Comedy and Magic Club in,
So was he
in
a cool
LA,
dude
in
back then?
Hermosa Beach, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a sweet guy, really nice. He used to come out every night, and he wanted to host the show. He was the host of the show.
That's cool.
So he would come out,
To get
and
stage time.
he liked going first. He liked going up and bringing everybody up sometimes. And other times we would just we would just tag team.
Tag team, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
just
were-
tag team. So he'd go up first, and I think it was so he could kind of bow out and then go do a spot somewhere else. You know, a lot of guys would do that too.
Right.
But very hardworking guy. He was back there with his notebook. He was the first guy there. I remember coming in because I'd like to come early too because you get a free meal there, and their meals are like
Amazing.
filet mignon and salmon, and you eat really
Mike
well.
Lacey, best comedy club in the
the
world.
best in the
You're
world.
nicest guy.
Sweetest guy in the world.
Cool. It's funny.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, with
off the top.
Sebastian, it's funny. He's one of those guys that really, this is how social media has changed things.
Yeah.
Before, as a comedian, you had to have some kind of national TV to get a draw. Whether you got a special, whether you're on a Tonight Show. I mean, you still get that, obviously. You get Netflix and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. You get somewhat of a... But I got to tell you, the way to get the arenas, these people are doing arenas, these acts now.
Yeah.
That was unheard of before. That was only for very few comedians, Eddie Murphy level, that's it. Now all our guys and men and women are doing this based off social media. Sebastian became huge on everything from TikTok to YouTube. And I remember friends of mine show me clips of this dude, and I'm crying, laughing. I didn't know him.
Yeah.
And that's how,
Instagram,
and he was getting 10, 12, 15 million views on these things.
nuts.
That's like Matt Rife.
Matt Rife too.
He
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Well,
He had
even
the video
if you
take
go
off.
back to Dane Cook, Dane was like the original
first one.
master of social media. That's how
But
Dane
now-
ended up doing arenas.
Everything. But now it's more commonplace. If you have a strong act
Yeah.
and you present it on YouTube or
Right.
TikTok, it can blow up and you could be in arenas. But
right.
this is a guy who, luckily, I mean, he's really funny. I mean, that's the thing. That's the other part. You're
Yeah.
really funny.
Oh, you gotta be-
He
yeah.
is strikingly funny.
And he combines the physical stuff.
Oh my God.
But I'm a little not nervous, but the arena thing for a comedian, I don't even know where we're sitting, but I'm sure we're going to be distant.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will.
I'd rather be at the Benetton.
Well,
to see
but
him.
the production nowadays
changed
is not
it.
like the old days. They've
Big
got these big
screens,
IMAGs, and so they do make it more intimate with those big screens, and the production, the sound is so much better now.
And
so,
Mark, don't they
yeah.
now they cut it off a lot too? Like it won't be 18,000 seats, but maybe drop
Yeah.
down to like
they make it a
8,000
little
or
more
10.
They might,
They'll
yeah.
put curtains around,
Curtain it,
and kind of make it
feel
intimate
like
as popular.
intimate.
Is that what they do?
Yeah.
He
they
is
do that
like-
a lot. But
he's-
he'll sell it though, man. He'll
He can sell
20,000.
20,000, but he has the kind of act. John, rest assured, rest easy. He is the kind of act that'll jump in an arena. Some guys couldn't do it, and men and women can't do that. But
He
his
is very
act,
physical,
when he
very-
does the face expression, like I don't know, I don't get it, I don't get it. You start watching, you get into him. I think you're gonna love it, man. He's been touring a lot of
seen-
arenas, so he knows how to play it.
Oh my God, yeah. And you know what? He's a great actor too. He's done some great roles.
Oh, yeah.
Just did a movie with De Niro. It's not bad. About his dad and stuff. It's kind of fun. Fun movie, Yeah, that's cool, man. That's what's
He's
great.
not even acting. That is Sebastian.
Yeah.
That is,
Basically, what's his life? You're right. That's so cool, though, man. See these comedians take off from YouTube.
It's like the character is playing him,
It's up to the talent, man.
Right.
And, hey, man, last show we talked about... before I get into that, I just wanted to mention real quick, John is being honored. KDKA, my buddy Larry Richard, every year have this Hometown Heroes Banquet. And I've been going to it for the last 5-6 years. And it's so cool, man. It's people that give to the community, charitable things, and help out, and have organizations that change the world and change people's worlds, let's say. And just like John was saying with these kids that have autism and maybe the parents and say, hey, this would be great for my son or daughter to get involved with music. John has been named as a hometown hero for 2024 in October.
I think that's wonderful, John Vento. I don't think anybody gives more than you. Honestly, you do everything you can. I remember when my niece she worked she still works there at the Mars Home for Youth, and I don't know what inspired me. You and I had just met, honestly, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm racking my brain because I knew about the connection to autism and children on the spectrum and adults even on the spectrum, and I remember you and I just kind of bonded over some things. This was a mere couple of months after you and I had met, and my my niece Audra. Comes to me and says, Uncle Mark, she goes, we want to start a music program at the Mars Home for Youth. We don't know where to start, and we need instruments. We need anything you can suggest or provide or turn us on to. And you were one of the first phone calls I made. I called you. And I said, John, I don't know if you're anywhere. You go, I'm on this. What do they need? I go, they need everything. They need furniture. They need drums. They want to do a drum line. And John, you were just so kind and generous, and
thank you, Mark.
You came across with those drums and all these things that you brought, and I'll tell you, they're still using them, and they're it's making a difference, man. It's making a big difference.
And then I went out there. Here's the funny story. I saw those shitty chairs they were sitting in. I'm like, guys, I throw away chairs that are 10 times nicer than this in my office furniture world. John knows the world.
Man, but they couldn't believe it. They really didn't know what to make. My aunt or my everybody, they were just, the whole family was just like, I can't. And my niece calls me. I remember after you had been there, and she goes, Uncle Mark, who are you? How do you know these people? I mean, Hermie Granati went out there, gave them a piano.
There you go. See? Isn't that beautiful?
And I mean, honest to God, I mean, so many people went out there.
Let me bring something up, because this is a great subject. I just learned of a wonderful organization called the Farina Foundation here in the North Hills of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Farina, Farina.
Okay. Yeah.
And the organization is run by the family, and the patriarch of the family was a long-time music high school teacher in North Allegheny High School. He died about 11 years ago. Okay. And in honor of him, their father and grandfather, they formed a foundation, the Farina Foundation, that takes in used musical instruments, refurbishes them, and then gifts them to people like... like the Mars Youth Home, like folks on the spectrum, like people with lesser means.
Right.
And I'm so excited because Jim and I are going to clear out our garage. I got 3 drum kits. Okay. I've got keyboards. I got a storage facility. And we're going to send this all to the Farina Foundation in conjunction with Brighton Music. Okay. And then whenever our kids need stuff,
they have it.
Boom,
have it
right there. So we're going to be announcing this partnership with them.
What a great
in the next 2 weeks. Farina Foundation.
And Hometown Heroes in October. They're going to honor John. It's cool. The funny thing is, John's it's like saying, "Oh man, I don't know if I deserve it." Guess what? Everybody's one says that to me, because that's why.
And that's exactly the guy you want to give it to. That's exactly the guy that should get an award, such a award.
I didn't tell
someone
anybody.
That thinks they don't deserve it.
And Larry announced it 2 days ago on the radio.
Okay.
So my phone's blowing up like, even my Michelle knew.
Right.
Jim didn't know. I didn't tell anybody. So anyhow,
now it's out. It's out of the bag.
All right,
it's on the podcast also,
move on.
And it's cool because every time it's one of those.
So
events.
you'll be there, Jimmy?
I don't miss it every year because I tell you, it's one of those events. That's why you'll appreciate you just a feel good event. You feel good at the end of that event because you're watching these people who give to the community.
Yeah, and it inspires you because your giving and helping has inspired me to do more of that and try to. So it's like a ripple. It's like a ripple effect.
No, it actually depresses me. I go home and go, what did I do with my life? What did I do?
You go, I got some work to do.
I got to work my way out of hell.
But at least you got a hot young girlfriend.
I do have a beautiful
there you go.
I've been blessed.
I heard Michelle ran into you guys out at at Butler.
Dr.
Bowden.
Yeah, we're hanging out. It was awesome. Michelle's looking beautiful too. So anyway, I tell you, speaking of which, we were talking about health a little bit last podcast, and since we're switched over to Dr. Bowden real quick, I found this guy. Okay, there's a documentary on. There's a lot written on this guy. Have you ever heard of Wim Hof?
Oh yeah.
You have?
I've not.
John, you ever heard of Wim Hof?
The Wim Hof
this dude,
breathing method.
This dude is picture your burnout friend, okay?
Yeah.
Ziggy or whatever he is.
Yeah.
And he just does things like he can climb Mount Everest in his underwear. Like things like that. He does.
It's like the David Blaine of breathing.
He does these things where he can go in these extreme conditions. He ran a marathon in the Nehab Desert, or some desert, one of the hottest deserts in the world.
Yeah.
He ran a 26-mile marathon and didn't drink water. Was able to do that. He was able to climb I think Everest. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm close. Anyway, he climbed a big mountain in like basically in shorts. I'm talking frigid temperatures. And I'm saying, how did you do that? He swam under ice, in ice water for like the longest distance anyone could do it. And nothing bothers him, and his blood pressure, everything's perfect in his body. And he said, well, how are you doing this?
Right.
He said, it's all breathing. So they have the Wim Hof breathing technique. I tried it this morning.
I need that for my singing.
Yep.
John, it's amazing.
Give me that name again.
Wim Hof.
W-I-M-H-O-F.
And look him up. And there's a lot of documentaries on him and things. But I tried it this morning, and it relaxed me. I don't know I'm sure there's a whole scientific reason for this. There's something to do with how, when you're withholding breath and adding oxygen or whatever, and somehow stimulate your mind or whatever. And I don't know me, I'm a comedian, not a scientist. But anyway, it just does a thing where it disciplines your body can handle almost any extreme event once you master this. So this guy could be in 2-degree weather with no jacket on, and it doesn't bother him. It's part of it's the breathing, part of it's mindfulness and meditation. But the breathing's the big part of it. He actually has an app out. So if anyone out there wants to just get the app, they have an app on how he shows you how to breathe, and it tracks your breathing. But read about him first, learn about this dude. I just find that fascinating, man.
What's his first name again?
Wim.
Oh, Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
WIMHOF.
Yeah.
Oh, Hof is his last name.
I'm pretty sure, Wim Hof.
Now we should mention because I actually my brother had a very negative effect of this because he wasn't doing it under the proper supervision. Okay, this is not to be done lightly.
You can't wing
now
it.
They have how-to videos, but a lot of stuff that you'll see on social media, you have to be very, very careful. There are people that have tried to follow this method, and you can actually lose consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
You can hyperventilate. You can die from this. So be very, very careful.
Yeah, you got to really know what you're doing.
You have to do it under the right circumstances and
And
under professional supervision and guidance, because it's not something to be done lightly.
I just did the basic
just
exercise.
The basic, like box
me.
breathing, and things like that.
The basic breathing was just hold your breath in for 15 seconds and things like that. So I just did that and relaxed. I'm sure there's this highly, like for instance, this guy is at such a level, and I'm just talking about, like I said, I did it for relaxation.
Yeah.
Okay? It's good for me. But like you said, Mark, it's at a point where he was injected with poison, some sort of botulism, some sort of poison, and he was able to withstand it and reverse it and survive through it
from breathing.
Because of his breathing.
Yeah.
Because of his breathing, it does something to your immune system.
Well, breath work is,
and it somehow was able to process the poisons differently. And now some people say he's just a freak of nature. Others say it's his technique.
No,
So
there's a
still
technique to
controversy
it,
on
and it might be a little controversial right now, but it is a very hot thing, a very hot topic, and people just have to be aware that it's not something to just go into lightly and start holding. But holding your breath for that period of time, the 15 seconds, like you're saying, and then feeling. And I think part of the method is you hold your breath at one point until you feel you can't hold it any longer.
And then you breath.
Let it out.
You exhale or take the first breath.
And breath work can cause euphoria. I mean, it's great for you, and it can help with inflammation and other things. So,
well, I want to thank Mark for talking me out of this winter. I was planning on climbing Mount Washington in my underwear. And I was going to my underwear. I was going to say I was waiting for a day in February where it's 0 or 2 degrees. Mark said, "This is serious stuff. You really don't know what you're doing with this." And I said, "Mark, this is new underwear, first off."
I saw it on social media.
Tighty-whiteys.
I saw it on Instagram.
And I'm just going to climb Mount Washington. If this guy can do Everest, I can do Mount Washington. And I'm going to do my version of breathing technique.
Well, I just want you to be careful because I know you live with a professional, really.
Yes.
I mean,
she's
Michelle is.
Oh, wait a minute. This is news breaking. You live with?
No, I don't. But I don't mean you live with. I just mean you're around a professional a lot.
Yes.
And so
That's
I
how I'm
would
learning all
trust
these things.
I would trust her to help guide you and
So obviously your brother had some issues with this.
Yeah, well he did because
okay.
he had some mental problems that he was working through and just the breathing and it created, but it does something to your brain chemistry too.
Oh yeah,
and it can be very healing because he was doing some grounding techniques, everything you're supposed to do, but it went a little bit too far, and he was at a point where he was literally almost unconscious,
really,
and hyperventilated to the point where, like, he needed medical attention.
It was too extreme.
It was too much. Yeah.
So maybe just like you said, find somebody or start. If you're doing it, just do it.
Yes.
Easy. Like I just did the easy thing, which is basically take some 30 deep breaths, and then you hold your breath for 15 seconds and exhale. That's all.
Now, see, that's
well, Beth takes
excellent.
us through those exercises too with our vocal coach.
Yes. That's
similar.
kind of the same thing.
You can't do it all in one day. You know what I mean? You got to kind of build up.
I can't do the cold thing. I'm sorry, Wim. If I was he has a class where he takes on 20 students.
Yeah.
I'd be done in one day. First cold day, he'd be
the
like
cold plunge.
Everyone's in their tighty-whiteys. I'm in my coat. I'm in my parka coat. My Donnie Irish Dickie. I need my earmuffs. I can't stand cold. I'm sorry. I don't care what he says.
I got to ask you a question. You brought it up.
Yeah.
I see Donnie has a new hairstyle.
Yes, he does
or no
cool.
hairstyle.
Yeah, it looks cool, huh?
I love
it does look cool,
Yeah,
but you're great friends with him.
He just decided, hey,
just rip it off.
He's going to go for it, man.
He's going for it.
He's got a Jason Statham look going on, man. It looks good. It's all tanned up.
God
I
bless
did it
healthy.
years ago, man. I shaved my head years ago.
You
it was
pulled
the
it off.
preemptive strike for me.
You pull it off. See, that's just it. You guys got nice looking faces.
Yeah,
God gave me hair because I wouldn't look real good with that. That would not be a good look for me.
Well,
no, I'd look like
true.
Jerry Mathers the Beaver with no hair. It wouldn't be my look. Not that Jerry Mathers. Jerry Mathers is a chick magnet. Don't get me wrong.
You got to get a little skin tone. You got to have a little sun on you because you don't want to look like a cancer patient right away.
So you got to go sun.
So yeah,
you're going sun tone.
Right.
Just little color.
Little color,
Oh,
and you got to be reasonably in shape, which Donnie is in.
You got to be in shape. You can't be.
Right.
You look
Oh,
like
man,
Curly
that's-
from the Three Stooges if you don't do that.
just
You don't want to look like Curly. You want to look like Jason Statham.
He's sick.
So what happened when you? That must have been a bold. I always know you as shaved and Jason Statham thing going on vibe. I don't remember when you had hair. I know. You a long time.
I've always worn hats. I was starting to lose my hair at probably age 21. Really? Yeah.
Okay.
It was
just starting
thinning.
to recede.
Yeah. By 25, I was.
Okay.
I looked like a banker, man. And I just
The banker look.
The banker
not
look.
the look you're going for rock and roll comedy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Give him the banker.
And so I
comedian for
saw
while.
a lot of rock stars. Like I remember the
Right.
lead singer for REM, Michael Stipe.
Michael
right?
Stipe, yeah.
Yeah, and there were a couple of
Sure.
others, and it inspired me. I was like, you know what, man?
Go for it.
I'm getting the razor out. Let's do this.
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan look, man.
Yeah.
Bring it all.
All the way.
MJ. He
My
started-
cousin Phil Vento has a great line he's a bass player and he's with me sometimes in the acoustic thing. You've met Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. He likes to say that in our family, that he has all the talent and I have all the hair.
You got a good hair deal.
You got
got
great
a
hair,
good hair
dude.
deal,
If I had a hair like you,
You wanna
there's
touch
no
it?
way I
You
would.
wanna touch
I'd
it?
like
Good
to touch
touch
it
it.
when we go off the air.
Look at that.
Mark's touching it on the air. I was going to wait till
It's
off the air
soft.
because I want to savor it. I don't want to touch it.
Very well.
Some great hair.
He has very well conditioned hair.
Do you have? And you don't. I don't even think he has gel in it.
No, there's
No.
no gel.
No
It's just
gel.
a
You're
little wet 'cause
jealous?
I was running late today.
Wow, look at that. You're like a short-haired Fabio.
I am.
You know what I mean? This isn't flowing, but it's flowing short. Like you can.
What do you use? Philip
amazing.
Lucy? What is it? What is it?
I'm telling you, I'm very jealous of that. But and you do have great talent, brother.
Jimmy, you got good hair.
I do have good hair.
I mean,
You got
Mark's,
great hair.
I got
Mark's
a good
got an
hair,
issue
though.
here, but we're
I got
getting
an
over
issue.
it. We're dealing with it.
Pitulski.
he's got good hair. Pitulski's got good
I'd
hair.
say God takes care of you. Mark could pull that off because he has a good-looking face.
He is. He's a
If you've
handsome
got a
son of a
good-looking,
gun.
handsome face.
Yeah.
You're a little more chiseled. Mine's too round. Mine look like a Gerber baby all the time. I look like an adult Gerber baby. It would not be a good look. I'd be a very lonely person right now. You guys would have to be. We have to take Jim out because nobody wants to be around me. I just wouldn't have the
great
look.
hair, man.
I thank God. That's what I'm saying. So, we're dog people. We're Michelle and I'm looking into another dog. I have Larry. Larry, of course, is 17. I love my Larry dog.
God bless him.
Larry's the best. Thinking of getting another dog, maybe. Was looking at this. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, and this woman had a dog walking by Michelle and I, and it was a Bernie's Mountain
Bernice
dog, Bernie
Mountain
Doodle,
dog.
but with
Yeah.
a poodle, Bernie Doodle.
A Bernedoodle.
Oh,
they're
Bernedoodle,
beautiful.
yeah.
Bernedoodle.
Cutest dog I ever saw. It
Yes.
was like 30 pounds. It was a mini one or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing. And I have a friend who does like shelters that
Yeah.
maybe have one or two. So I'm gonna
Right.
look
Well, the
into it.
Bernese Mountain Dogs are the sweetest. They
yeah.
really are.
Big.
Our friend Veronica has one.
got a Bernese?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She's got one named Tank. His name's Tank.
I remember looking at breeds, and I read about the is it Bernese Mountain Dogs? Or
Bernese, yeah, Bernese Mountain
Bernese
Dog,
Mountain
yeah.
Dog. I remember looking at temperament, and it said they described the Bernese Mountain Dog as a gentleman in a fur coat.
Yes.
Because they're like, this is gentle.
They are the sweetest dogs. They really are. They're right there with the golden retriever. I got a golden outside.
Oh, Gold's are.
Honey's running around
Can you
outside
not-
right
yeah,
now.
you
Yeah.
can't get friendlier than a golden, right?
No, they're the sweetest. But
pretty amazing. Well, there's a lot of
Bernese
dogs.
is right there with them.
So we're looking in a Bernie Doodle.
So a
mini.
Bernedoodle,
They're
yeah, they're
beautiful.
the little combination
30,
dogs,
40
and-
pounds maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's supposed
Bernese
to,
and a poodle.
and
I mean,
they're-
these combo, like, we have Labradoodles.
They're
Yes,
hypoallergenic.
you got Labradoodle.
You don't have to worry about shedding as much.
No,
or anything.
nothing.
that's
Yeah,
what
it's
I was going to ask you
perfect.
guys. They're basically hyper.
Oh, yeah, they don't
Hypoallergenic.
shed. They're
Yep.
hyperallergenic.
Because your dogs are not really.
Yeah.
Or they're
Ours are
allergy
second
friendly, though.
generation.
Yeah.
Ours are second gen. Michelle knows more about this than
Right.
me, but they are second generation Labradoodles, meaning they had a Labradoodle mommy and a Labradoodle daddy.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so there's like categories.
Yeah.
So the guy that started all this was very controversial. It was out of Australia. You have to read up on this. We don't have time, but
No, we
he
have time to sit
started
here. That's- I'm
mixing.
curious.
I know, but he mixed the breeds.
Okay.
He created the first Labradoodle, Labrador Retriever, and a poodle.
Okay.
And in the dog world, it was very controversial.
Okay. Why?
And then, of course, the breed took off. And now we have Bernedoodle. We have double doodles.
double
doodles,
doodle.
We have double doodle.
double doodles.
What's a double doodle?
golden doodle?
Golden doodle.
What's it-
Golden
wait,
doodles
what
are
makes a
beautiful.
double
Golden
doodle?
retriever.
Yep.
What makes a double doodle?
Is it two poodles?
We were at
Which
Frick
makes it a
Park.
poodle?
No,
A poodle doodle.
no.
What's a doodle poodle? Double doodle.
I don't
We got to
know.
look it up now.
I don't
Can't
know.
take it. Double doodle.
But anyhow,
I want a double. I wanna
this
see a
dude,
double.
this was years ago.
Labradoodle. The Labradoodle.
The
Yes,
Labradoodles are
Labradoodle.
fabulous. But I mean, they are a very popular. Now they've been banned for years from any of the dog shows.
Really?
But I think that's changing. Isn't
Are
it,
they
Jim?
bringing it? Are they bringing them in?
Yeah. Okay. Here you
Coming
go.
in, Jim.
Producer Jim. A double doodle is a cross between
Thanks, Jim.
a golden doodle and a Labradoodle.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, two popular designer dogs. They're called designer dog breeds.
We used to call mutts.
They, they are known for being friendly, intelligent, and less likely to cause allergies. So
That's how I describe
Yes.
Mark.
Yeah.
yeah, friendly
Yeah.
and
What's
intelligent.
Mark like? Friendly, intelligent, doesn't cause allergies,
loyal.
less likely to cause allergies.
And he's a designer comedian.
Exactly. He's a brilliant comedian.
They're so cute. They're so
they're-
damn cute.
I- you
They're,
know-
they're like teddy bear. I like
Yeah.
stuffed animals.
Yeah, they are.
So
Thank
this
you, producer
guy
Jim.
decided to breed the poodle because
With
of the
a Labrador
but
Retriever.
Did he do this because of the allergies? Because poodles are pretty much
Yeah.
hypoallergenic dogs.
That might have been one of the motivations. I don't know.
Because there's a lot of people.
And they don't shed. They don't shed
okay.
at all. I mean, you know.
Your dog is a
mine's a full-blown English cream retriever. She is all golden retriever or whatever you want to call it.
That is a friendly dog too.
Yeah, she's great, but she sheds like you can't believe. Yeah, we got to have a special vacuum.
Now, Michelle told me, because she's a dog chick forever and ever, right? That was part of the deal when I met her.
Yeah.
It was a package deal on our first date. She had a golden retriever.
Okay.
Yep.
That was the smartest dog she ever had.
Okay.
She actually taught this dog to pee and poop in the mulch, not on the grass.
Wow! It took me years to learn that myself.
Yeah, I know. You had to,
I'm still off on that a little bit.
you're
sometimes.
still in the grass.
Yeah,
I noticed
A
that.
couple
today.
beers, I lose it. I have to go back to training.
But could you imagine this? She was telling me about her golden. She taught him to go in the mulch bed.
How fun!
Anyway,
There's
awesome.
I had a shepherd, Coda. He lived at 9 years. He was big. He was
I
like
remember
120.
Coda.
Remember Coda?
Yeah.
He was the smartest dog of all the
Beautiful.
dogs.
Beautiful dog.
Real brilliant dog. He knew how to open up the latch of like I couldn't like put him in any kind of cage.
He was kind of
He'd
the
open it
leader
with
of the
his paw.
pack.
They're
Yeah,
amazing.
he was the lead. It's like, how did you get out of here? One day I'm watching him, and he's hitting his paw. I'm like, he figured out how to hit the latch open. I'm like, that's amazing.
Is he the one that you used to describe as like a Clooney?
Yes.
Like he would be Clooney.
You get compliments every time I watch him. It's just the most beautiful dog ever.
I have to tell
That's
you
right.
guys
I
real
know
quick,
I'm
the,
good looking. I know I'm good. Look at my eyebrows. Look at my tail.
When I met
Good-looking
Michelle,
dog.
our first date, she made it real clear. Hey, do you love dogs? Now I'm sitting across from her and looking at her saying, I love dogs. Now the truth is, in my home here in the woods, I was here by myself for close to 14 years with no cats, no dogs, never.
Really?
Oh, no.
And all this nature
God,
around
your
you.
list was on the list with the Unabomber. What the heck?
Right, I was the
Yours
Unabomber.
in the woods with nothing.
So we have a couple dates that week, and the following Sunday we have a family event.
Okay.
So I have to give a heads up to my cousins. I called cousin Eugene. I said, look, I'm bringing a new girl. I really like her. There's just a little problem. She thinks I love dogs.
Oh.
He went, what? You're lying to them already. He said, you need to stop
not a
this.
good
I
start,
like
John.
I like how you coached them up,
Right.
John. Smart.
So I said, look, cuz, we're going to probably sit at your table at the party. If the subject comes up, just support me, man. Just, right? Wouldn't you know, we walk into the party. The first person we see is cousin Eugene. Eugene, meet my friend Michelle. He holds out his hand. He said, my cousin loves dogs.
Nice. Right
It's
there.
like, so the
cut to the
whole
chase,
day,
John.
have I told you how much he loves dogs? The whole effing day. So we get in the car after the party, and Michelle turns to me. She said, you told me that you love dogs, but I had no idea
How much you love them.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, dear Lord.
I have always wanted a dog.
I came clean about a month later
Okay.
after I fell in love with her Labradoodle flaps. I got it.
So I got the dog.
I got it all.
I get why
Yeah.
you love them like that.
It took me a month, not even,
They
to get
become
it.
like your
And now we got
family.
2 of them, and I love them.
There
They
you
become
go.
part of your
Yeah.
family.
They are the
become
family.
Part
We
they're
had
very spiritual. And
Our first golden retriever
Cats, too.
that our first dog really was Shane, little Shane. He was a little cockapoo,
Okay.
and he was just adorable little dog. He was a runner. He would get out the door and he would just run like crazy. But
Yeah,
we loved him,
sunny,
and he was,
sunshine.
and then we had the kids, and we had this Shane, and the kids kind of grew up with a little dog around all the time. Then we moved to California. We got a golden retriever, and her name is Sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah.
They named her Sunshine. You remember
I
Sunshine?
love that dog.
Oh, Sunshine
I love
went.
Sunshine.
Sunshine went to like 16 years old. She lived
Yeah.
a really good
She
long
See,
life
Labradoodles
for a
won't live
golden.
to 16.
They do
Yeah.
or don't.
They don't.
No?
Don't?
10, 11, 12,
really?
maybe.
Well, that's typical for Goldens too.
Yeah,
12,
bigger
12,
the bigger
13.
dogs. The,
But
smaller
Sunshine
dogs
went
live
to just about 16 years old, and now we have Honey. Took us a couple of years. We weren't
Sure.
even going to go again, and then
Yeah, you can't
we got another one. We found this one, and she was just awesome.
I love Sunshine.
Yeah.
You know,
Sunshine was the best. Though, right?
It's so funny when you look at your dog. I always think of like how would they sound if they could talk. I did a lot in my act with Larry, especially, man. Is Chihuahua. He makes, hello, Jimmy.
Can't do it.
How are you? You're doing good today. I took a dump on your pillow upstairs. He's upstairs. Don't worry, no one can see it. It's just all for you. It's a gift. Yeah. it's so cool.
It's for you.
It's for
You have to wonder because they're so smart in those eyes.
Right?
You know something's going on in that soul.
Yeah.
And they're not with us long.
No, that's what's so.
Yeah,
I wish they could be longer. And it's cool to have them. It's an honor to have them. God gave us.
Honestly,
it isn't though, guys.
Yeah.
It's funny because like your dog Honey and your dogs. I think of like watchdogs. Your dogs, if a burglar walked in, they'd be like, "Do you need anything to drink?"
Yeah, right.
Sit down over here.
Yeah.
Look, we have Apple TV.
They would.
We don't only have Amazon, Netflix. We got Apple. You guys want that? You're so
beers
friendly.
in the fridge.
Yeah,
beers in the
they're
fridge.
so friendly, right? They would. They welcome you right in.
I know, man.
It's awesome, man. It's true.
Oh man,
It is true.
They do, but you know what though, man? They teach us. They teach us how to be better people. I really believe that. Yeah. And all the work you've done for Animal Friends.
You've got the black tie coming up, right?
Yeah, it's coming
Let's
up
plug
on
that. When is it?
20th September. Yeah, Black Tie
And you're
Tales.
the MC every year,
What?
right?
One of the MCs. I'm going to be doing like little tours of the facility. It's going to be at the campus.
Yeah.
It's a great organization, Animal Friends. It's a no-kill shelter. I watch these people firsthand, how hard they work, and these are brilliant people that could be in any other job, but they take this job because they love animals,
Yep.
and it doesn't pay a lot, but they it's a great reward for them because they love animals, but they're all good people. It's one of my favorite organizations to be around. I love animals, and I really I was really cool. I won a Golden Fire Hydrant Award in 2008.
What?
Yes, and they have a fire hydrant on the campus, and a dog. I met this dog, whizzes on my fire hydrant every morning. He gets up, they walk him, and he just whizzes. And I went to visit there a few months ago, and they brought him out, and I watched him. And he did it proudly in front of me. He said, "Here it is. You gotta go."
I knew you before I knew you from the Animals Friends events because I would see it on TV or see the billboards, and then I met you through Jimmy Need, of course. So that Animal Friends event is wonderful.
It is so fun.
And what a facility!
Oh, it's grown. It's
Camp Horn Road, right? I mean, isn't it down there?
It started out in the Strip. Now it's on Camp Horn Road, man.
Yeah.
And John, we're starting to wrap the show up here. I just wanted to tell you, we are so proud of you with this Hometown Heroes. I know you don't want to. I know you play it down and all that. And they want to tell anybody, but it is a cool thing.
It's a true honor. It is.
And you know what, John? It's more for us. More for people watching. Because like Mark said, it inspires us.
Honest to God.
And for you, it's not that. It's a passion. It's something you feel you should do, and that's what's cool about why you should be honored. And take that 1 minute out. That's all. Take a minute out, take a deep breath and say, "Hey, man, thanks. Nice job there. Helping a lot of people."
I'm going to get better at that. As the days go by, I'm getting better, accepting and appreciative. I already texted Larry. It's a humbling thing.
It's a,
So.
Well, nobody deserves it more.
Well,
thank you,
right
bro.
now.
Yeah, well deserved, man. It's so cool.
Yep.
We need that.
You.
We need that in the world, man. It's a rough world out there, man. It is. We need, right? It's a rough world. We need some good stories. We need to see there's good people out there, man. Right?
And there are, aren't there?
There's a
lot of good people.
Yes, there are.
They don't necessarily get the front page.
They don't get the
news
attention. No,
I know,
because people would rather see
car wrecks.
There was an actual psychological study on that. People would rather see you would show them 20 news stories.
Yeah.
One of them bad and 19 of them good. Every single time they go to the bad one.
Ratings are negative for something. They like the fear.
Something about it, man.
You're right, Mark.
It's morbid obsession or whatever it is, man.
Yeah, and it's been.
Mark also. You're the same way, same good-hearted guy. Do a lot of charity. He never says no to any charity. Guy.
Well, both of you guys,
well,
Jimmy, what you've done to help keep Steamworks alive, and off the air, I want to get some input from you on that. But also, both of you are going to be right down the street here supporting our West Deer Fire Department.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
That's coming up.
October the 4th.
October 4th.
That's going to be a party. You don't want to miss that fundraiser for West Deer Fire.
Yep. Thank you.
That's
for
so
that.
cool.
Speaking of,
hey, doggies are saying, "Hey, get out of here." We're waiting for you.
They're probably
meeting
Honey right now.
Yeah, Honey's like, "I want to go home. I'm ready." Mark Eddy, John Bento, Jim Pitulski, Jim Krenn. No restrictions. Thanks for listening.
I love you guys.